I'm glad you added that or indicated that you want to be transparent with the Canadian public, because based on the stonewalling that's happened in the legal proceedings in court from last week, it would appear as if that may be a position that you're taking now as a government. And I would hope that, if you had good reason, which you say you did, to invoke the Emergencies Act, that you would undertake to share the reasons and the documents and the information that you relied on as a minister and as government, to share those with the Canadian public as to why you made that decision. And I would hope that you would undertake to do that, Minister, for the sake of Canadians, because we're not here for us. We're here for Canadians, to be transparent and accountable to them. And I would hope that you would, and would you undertake to release all the documents to this committee that we can rely on, that you relied on, that your government relied on to invoke the Emergencies Act?
Mr. Motz, I want to assure you that we are here to shine a light on the events which led to the invocation of the Act, which included, among other things, the blockades at ports of entry, which completely disrupted our economy, which put people laid off, which shut down businesses, which cost the economy millions, and frankly here in Ottawa, which laid siege to a community where no one felt safe for weeks. So I understand you may have a different perspective, but I would hope that you don't have a different point of view with regards to the facts, and those are the facts.
I take that as a yes, that you will be undertaking to release all the information you used to rely upon. It's interesting that just yesterday, the media is reporting that, in fact, the economy was not impacted, as you had indicated in your opening remarks, by hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, trade was up, industry, manufacturing was up 16% in cross-border traffic, and contrary to your assertion. Now, one of the things that that was intriguing to me is during the actual convoy protest here, you retweeted some information that was later shown to be completely false, completely inaccurate. So in your role as the Minister of Public Safety, how can Canadians now trust that the information you relied upon to invoke the Act in the first place was accurate and appropriately reliable?
Well, first I want to draw a bright distinction between aggregate statistics and the real-life impacts and consequences which were caused by the illegal blockades which occurred in White Rock, BC, where I have visited, in Emerson, in Manitoba, where I have visited, here in Ottawa, and at the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor, where I visited. Speak to those Canadians, Mr. Motz. Speak to the small business owners who could not open because of the illegal and violent conduct which was being undertaken and engaged in by those who were doing it with the specific purpose of disrupting trade and travel. That was unlawful, and that was one of the reasons why we invoked the Act.
My question was very clear, very clear. The information you relied on, how Canadians trust you when you were tweeting out misinformation that's shown to be false, when you were tweeting this out, and yet you want Canadians to be able to trust you to say the information that I relied upon to inform Cabinet, to inform my own decision on whether or not we should invoke the Act in the first place. How can Canadians trust that now that all of a sudden, take my word for it, it's reliable, it's accurate, without seeing it? We can't, I certainly don't trust that it's accurate until I see it. And Canadians are saying the same thing. Show us.
Well,